Playing Demon Tides took years off my life, yet I found it near impossible to stop playing. Before I continue, 2 quick notes. First off, I want to send a huge thanks to Fabraz for sending me a review code. Secondly, all footage in this video are from locations within the first major overworld area. Demon Tides is an expressive 3D collectathon platformer and a sequel to the 2021 platformer Demon Turf. Despite being a sequel, it isn't necessary to have played Demon Turf first, as this game does a great job at catching you up on the previous game's events with a great recap near the beginning. Demon Tides opens with Beebs and her crew traveling to the vast oceans of Ragnar's Rock after receiving an invitation from its ruler, King Ragnar. In spite of their invite, as well as a series of unfortunate events early into their travels, it's clear that their journey to Ragnar's Rock isn't going to be at all smooth sailing. King Ragnar isn't even willing to meet you or roll out the welcome mat. Once you properly arrive at Ragnar's Rock, you'll be guided by your friend Midgey and given some destinations to check out. After this, the ocean, or at least the first third of it, is yours to explore to your heart's content. Do you head straight for the places the game tells you to go, or do you head off blindly and forge your own path? One thing I really enjoy about Demon Tides is its cast of expressive characters, especially Beebs and her crew. Each one is quite unique from one another in a way that is conveyed surprisingly well, from their personalities, the way that they talk, and their animations. Speaking of her and her crew, Beebs is the character the player controls. She's a bratty, rebellious demon girl who doesn't back down, and the way she acts with opposing NPCs shows she really wants them to know she's queen shit. She does have a soft and caring side though, that comes through no matter how hard she tries to hide it at times. There's Lucy, a charming imp who's very friendly and bubbly, but generally down to earth. She has a penchant for fashion, is a good artist, and a skilled handywoman. At times, Lucy acts like a big sister and an emotional support person for Beebs. She also makes new outfits and hairdos for you to buy. Next, there's Midgey, a nervous but highly intelligent, curious, and very excitable Kappa. He uses his genius to aid the gang when needed. He's confident in the face of knowledge and logic, hyper when presented with opportunities to learn, but cowardly when in potentially scary situations that he can't logic or reason with. Midgey runs the talisman shop. Finally, we have DK, a strange-looking purple humanoid. He's friendly, laid back, and pretty cringy. He loves to talk in street and internet slang, often to the slight embarrassment of the rest of the crew. DK also has the ability to use power sweepers to his space magic, though I'm not 100% sure what the space magic really is. When you first properly arrive at Ragnar's Rock and set out on your journey, it's suggested that you seek out a character named Bruna, but also check out the radio towers off in the distance. With that, you can jump ship and explore. Beebs has a few animal transformations, one of which is a snake. When traversing the ocean, this is the form that you'll use the most. When in this form, Beebs can move on water at high speeds. If you've ever played Nintendo's The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker or Bowser's Fury, this game will seem very familiar to you, though it has a lot more in common with the latter. As you travel the open oceans, you'll find yourself discovering, riding into, through, or past a variety of different platforming stages. These stages are varied thematically and are of varying sizes. These include a village that expands below and onto a cliff, a burning village, a broken floating highway, a sunken neighborhood, a forest, and more. Regardless of size, stages usually have a proportionate amount of height to them. Fortunately, at times, you're able to find the odd rope you can unfurl, creating shortcuts, helpful when these vertical sections get either long or difficult. Each stage has a handful of collectibles for you to find. Most of them are found within treasure chests. Treasure chests typically contain either a golden gear, a costume piece, or a talisman. Unfortunately, I did find 1 or 2 chests that contained a mimic that instantly killed me. Chests containing mimics do not seem to count toward your total of found chests. Golden gears are Demon Tide's main collectible. They act similar to stars from Mario 64 and the Jiggies from Banjo-Kazooie. Collecting these are the main way you progress through the game. That said, so far I found only 1 of these golden gears per stage. Costume pieces include alternate headwear and outfits and can be worn right away to change up Beebs' look. Collecting these will also inspire Lucy to add new options to the style shop. Talismans are equipable items that can enhance or nerf Beebs or her moves. These effects are only active while the talisman that grants it is equipped. At the beginning of the game, you'll only be able to equip 2 talismans, but eventually you'll be able to unlock up to 3 extra slots. Midgey also sells some talismans and will increase his stock as you collect more golden gears. The other main collectible is this game's coin equivalent, called items. Eyetems. They are purple-shaped demon eyes. You can spend them at Lucy and Midgey's shops, but they're also used to unlock special hard challenges in some levels. If you successfully 100% a stage, most stages will have a time trial that you can attempt. There are two variants, one with or without any talismans equipped. There's also leaderboards, and you can race against other players' ghosts. I'll be going over Beebs' moves next, to which she has a wide variety. First, of course, there's your typical and semi-typical 3D platformer movements, such as jumping, double jump, dash, dash attack, wall jump, picking up and throwing objects, rail grinding, and swimming. Beebs also has a bunch of other moves, such as a side jump, triple jump, wall running, and wall climbing. Furthermore, she can execute some advanced moves via transformations. First, whenever she double jumps, Beebs transforms into her bat form until she lands. While in bat form, you can also perform a bat dive that propels you forward diagonally, and what the game calls a bat dive dribble that nets you some extra height should you hit the ground during a bat dive. There's the spin form that lets you glide forward in whichever direction you're moving, but only for a limited amount of time. If you keep tapping the spin form button in rhythm, you'll be able to glide slightly further. You can also perform a downward spin drill, and if you use this but press the jump button as you hit the ground, you'll bounce a bit and gain some height. Finally, there's the snake form. In snake form, you can traverse faster both on land and water. You can also boost to go really fast or brake and slow down. You can also jump once in this form. If you press the button to exit this form while mid-movement, you'll perform a jump with plenty of momentum. Well, I say final, but that's just for the move to begin the game with. At certain points that I played, there was an item I picked up called an Optica. In my case, specifically the Bat Optica, though I believe there will be Optica for the other transformations as well. This was a temporary upgrade to my movement that allowed me, while in bat form, to pause mid-air, aim, and catapult myself, allowing Beebs to reach platforms across large gaps. Two other moves she has are game changers. The first one is called Placing Checkpoint. This game doesn't have any checkpoints, and instead you use this move to place a checkpoint anywhere you like. After that, it acts like any ordinary checkpoint from any other game. Keep in mind that should you place another one, the last one you place disappears. This is a lifesaver during certain challenges, as it not only sets a new respawn point, but you can freely return to your latest checkpoint at any time. Just keep in mind that while you can generally place one anywhere you like, there are certain exceptions where the game will not let you place one. The other one is the Item Finder move. Using this will point you toward items, usually items, that you're missing, but sometimes other collectibles as well. This is one move that I'm extremely happy about. It alleviates the main issue I have in Nintendo's Super Mario Odyssey, as I always seem to miss the odd purple coin in the game, and would spend seemingly ages looking for the ones I missed to no avail. Equipping talismans can further expand your movement options, like the Bat Flutter that gives you one extra jump when in bat form. A big part of progressing in the game and its world involves chaining Beebs' various movements into combos that help you traverse obstacles. To further expand on this, at the beginning of the review, I called the game an expressive 3D click-thumb platformer. The developer uses the word expressive in this case to describe Demon Tides because it's really up to you to decide how to clear most of the obstacles, as there's no one true and tried way to do it. One other thing you can do in the game that I really enjoy is the ability to have Beebs place graffiti on many of the game's surfaces. You can also upload them, and in doing so, your graffiti will appear on the same surface in other players' games and theirs in yours. I began this review by saying, this game took years off my life, yet I found it near impossible to put down. So maybe it didn't literally take years off, but this game does get ridiculously difficult at times. I've had obstacles and challenges that I've completed with relative ease, but others that I failed so many tries in a row that I was getting legitimately frustrated, extremely so at times. Even so, it was a little too hard to put down. When I was having fun, I just wanted to see what obstacle was next, what area was next. Sometimes all I wanted to do was continue exploring the ocean. When I was hitting obstacles so bad to the point I wasn't having as much fun anymore, I was still determined to keep at them until I succeeded. In fact, the adrenaline and dopamine from finally clearing one I've been stuck on for so long was just amazing. Either way, this game has had quite the hold on me. If I didn't need to take the time away from it to be making this video, I'd still be playing. Okay, so I've been singing Demon Tide's praises this whole video so far, but I do have some negatives. I find Beebs a little too floaty at times. I also find that sometimes the camera doesn't work well and I can't see where I am. Granted, this doesn't happen terribly often. The snake form can be hard to control at times, at least in smaller or tighter spaces, and a couple of the bosses I encountered were a tad too relentless. But this could just be a skill issue. I do enjoy a good challenge, but I think sometimes it can go a little too far. Those are my only real negatives. Demon Tides forgoes the 2D sprite The Demon Turf for a fully fleshed out and realized 3D model. The world of Ragnarok is an absolutely beautiful gem to look at, extremely vibrant and colorful, and for the most part gives off a relaxed vacation vibe. Even when the going gets tough, I feel there isn't much more I can say that the game footage here doesn't already portray. The music is equally as fantastic, with an upbeat soundtrack that not only fits the game well, but is pleasant on the ears in a way that makes it hard to be in much of a bad mood while listening to it. The game also throws in some vocal tracks here and there, but being honest, I'm not really sure how else to describe the music. Here are my final thoughts. Demon Tides is an exceptionally fun 3D platformer that isn't afraid to test your skills and your patience, but still manages to remain fair. It's clear that Fabraz poured a lot of love and passion into the game, and I'd highly recommend anyone who's a fan of platformers to give it a go. I know I can't wait for this review to be out so that I can get back exploring Ragnarok. To end, I really want to give Fabraz and team another quick shoutout. I'm still fairly new to the content creation scene, only streaming here and there, and haven't been active for a while, yet here I am. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity and honored to have this wonderful game of theirs as my first review and video, as well as my foray back into the content creation scene. Congratulations on finally being able to finish Demon Tides and on a successful launch day.